Today I'm going to talk about 7 mistakes that are holding you back from being a successful music producer. I'm sure you're doing at least one of these things and probably more. The reason I know this is because I've made all these mistakes myself. And now that I'm on the other side, I want to help you avoid these traps so I can see you win and become successful. And if you're wondering why you should listen to me, my name is ZBeatz and I'm a Billboard chart-topping producer. I've produced songs for artists like Black Bear, Mozzie, BOP Kosher, and a bunch of others. Mistake number 1, overcomplicating your beats. When you're first starting out, it's common to want to make your beats busy and complicated to show other producers and artists how good you are. But by making your beats too complicated, it actually has the reverse effect. I've had so many experiences where I play a beat for an artist, they love it, but they can't figure out where they fit in and how to write to it. And what happens is they skip the beat and move on to something else. So if your goal is to get artists to record to your beats, you need to leave space for them. I like to leave my beats open and purposefully make it feel like something's missing, because that something is the artist. If you listen to huge artists like Drake or The Weeknd, you'll hear how simple their instrumentals are. It gives room for them as the artist to tell their story. A way I like to think about it is you want to give the artist the alley-oop like in basketball. You're passing the ball to the artist so they can do their thing, dunk it, and score their point. Or in this case, create a great song. Next time you're producing, ask yourself, does this all need to be here? And try muting instruments and parts to see what is absolutely necessary. Whatever isn't, leave it out. One little tip I have for this that I like to do is mumbling words or singing over a beat while I'm making it. If I have a hard time finding a pocket, it means it's too busy and I need to take elements out. Trust me, simplifying your beats will get you more placements and level up your production. Mistake number 2, buying new plugins without learning the ones you already have. It's really important to take the time to learn the plugins you already own, because they can usually do what that new plugin you want does. This includes learning the stock plugins in your DAW. I'm in Logic, and for years I shunned the stock plugins, especially the stock EQ, delay, and reverb. I thought they were worse because they came with the program. But down the line I realized how dope they actually are. Now I use the stock Logic EQ on everything, and not only does it save me so much CPU because usually stock plugins are less intensive, it also taught me how to get more done with less. So when I moved on to Pro Q3 and other analog EQs in the future, I knew what I was doing and wanted to get out of it. By learning the plugins you have, you'll save money, but more importantly, it'll teach you way more about music production and why things work the way they do. Then in the future, when you eventually buy a new plugin, you'll get a lot more out of it because you'll have more knowledge to build on top of. Mistake number 3, you're neglecting the business side of your career. There's an old saying that goes, it's not the music business, it's the business music. If you want to make money and have a career as a music producer, you have to be knowledgeable about the different streams of income. It's not just about creating great beats. You need to understand the different types of royalties, contracts, and how to get paid for the work you're creating. This could be its own video by itself, but just to make things simple, make sure you understand the 2 types of copyrights for a song, the master and composition, and how to collect each of them. A great book I recommend that teaches about all of this is called All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Don Passman. It's basically the music industry Bible, and it goes over everything. This is what I first read when I was getting into the industry, and it really helped me. It breaks down all the different streams of income in a really clear and concise way, and it's like $30 on Amazon. It's probably one of the best investments you'll make. I also see many producers who don't know what to do when a song they produce comes out and what they're entitled to. To make it simple, the 3 things you need to confirm are the publishing splits, master percentage, and producer fee. If possible, it's best to figure out these business points before the song's released, because after the song comes out, it's a lot more complicated. I also highly recommend getting an entertainment attorney to review all the contracts you get, especially if it's for a big artist on a major label. I know it can be expensive to hire a lawyer, but in the end, it's worth it, because if that song blows up, you'll know what's in the contract and that you're getting what you're owed. Mistake number 4, you're being inconsistent. Whether it's uploading beats infrequently on BeatStars and YouTube or not having a distinct style, being inconsistent can really hurt you as a music producer. When I first started uploading beats to YouTube in 2019, I'd be super motivated and post for like 2 to 3 weeks straight, and then I'd give up and not post a beat for like 3 months. It wasn't until I started being consistent that my channel started to grow and I started getting solid beat sales. In terms of the online beat selling game, consistency is key. I'd recommend creating a schedule that's realistic and have regular upload dates. This way, your subscribers know when to expect new beats from you. I personally upload beats every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which I figured out is the sweet spot for me, and I've been doing that for 2 years now. Consistency is also huge when it comes to sending out loops to producers and beats to artists. If you only send out packs when you feel like it, you're not going to have enough momentum to turn this into a full-time career. This is because you'll only work when you're inspired and then most likely fall back and take a break for a while. If you want to do this professionally, you need to treat it like a job. And just like any other job, you need to show up and do the work that needs to get done. One thing I want to add is you may not have a lot of time to work on music if you're in school or have a job you do during the day. That's all good. Consistency is consistency, whether it's 30 minutes a day or 8 hours a day. The process of continuing to show up will compound your work and you'll continue to get better over time. So be as consistent as possible and check in with yourself. You'll know if you're slacking off or trying to do too much. Mistake number 5, you're learning too much and not applying it. Learning endlessly without applying your knowledge can lead you to getting stuck and not improving. It's easy to get stuck on YouTube for hours watching tutorials and buying courses so you can learn as much as you can. But at a certain point, if you're only learning and not executing on any of this knowledge, it's all going to waste. The point of gaining new skills is so you can apply them in the real world. This endless learning routine can stem from many things. But for me in the past, it came from being scared to fail. If I told myself there's still more to learn before I got started, then I wouldn't have to do anything. And if I didn't do anything, there's no way I could mess up and fail. But by doing this, it takes away your opportunity as a music producer to get better. A good way to fix this is every time you learn a new production trick, make sure you practice it as soon as possible. This will help you cement the knowledge, but you'll also be getting more practice and getting those reps in making beats. 6. You're fumbling your online presence. Setting up your profiles correctly on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and BeatStars is often overlooked. Most producers don't think to check their profiles to make sure that everything's up to date and that their links actually work. In 2024, your online presence is your resume. It shows people what you've done, what you're working on, and can lead to great new opportunities in the future. But if you have no way for people to get in contact with you, how are you going to grow your network and your business? A good rule of thumb is to set it up so all your social media sites lead to each other. For example, in your link in bio on Instagram, have a link to your YouTube beat channel. And on your YouTube channel, have a link to your Instagram, and so on. This is a small thing, but I promise most producers aren't doing it. And it makes it easier for producers and artists to get in touch with you, which will lead to more opportunities down the road. And here's the last one. Mistake 7. You're not experimenting. It's easy to get stuck using the same drum sounds and chord progressions all the time. I know for me in the past, I'd have my go-to plugins that I use for every beat. The problem with this is your sound will quickly become stale and boring. So while you want to have consistency with your production, you don't want to be known as the producer who does the exact same thing every time. It's really important to experiment often when you're cooking up. And along with that, you want to give yourself time and space for happy accidents to happen. You know those times where you accidentally drag your kick over to the wrong spot, but then you listen to it and you're like, damn, this is hard. I would have never thought of that normally. So make it a habit to try new things and not rush the production process. By allowing these happy accidents to happen, that's where you get really sick results and you end up creating a whole new vibe. All my favorite songs I've produced happen this way. So every once in a while, try throwing a guitar amp on a synth or dragging your snare to a new place on the grid. You might be really surprised with how dope it turns out. I hope this video shined a light on some things that may be holding you back so you can improve on them. There's no shame. I've done them all myself, but now you know and can go make the necessary changes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so I can keep making more videos. Peace.